Hey, it's HighTechDad, and what we're looking at today is a 2012 Audi A4 Quattro. This is a manual transmission, 6-speed. It's got about 211 horsepower, and it's an all-wheel drive. It's always on. That's part of the Quattro line. And I have one word that really describes this car in so many different ways, and that is tight. So everything about it seems to be really, really tight for me. So from the engineering aspects to the lines to the styling to even the tech inside, which took me a little bit to understand and really get, which I'll go into in a little bit. The Audi, a lot of fun to drive. So you can see from an exterior standpoint, everything is very sloped, very streamlined. It's got what I would think is a very low drag coefficient. And to that end, given that it's a 6-speed manual, I got really good gas mileage. It's rated to get something between 21 on city streets and about 31 on the highway. And I have yet to fill up the tank on this, and I've done lots of trips back and forth to San Francisco, and I have yet to fill up the tank. So that's a real plus for a car that is also high performance and also just looks great. So this is the S line, so it's the prestige model, which adds about $10,000 to the price. So as tested, this one came out at about let's see, about $46,000, and I definitely like the tech, and like I said, we'll go into it in a second. Here's the engine. So it's turbocharged, like I said, 211 horsepower. Really gets off the line fast, and yet still gets pretty good gas mileage. From a cargo standpoint, the Quattro has a ton of cargo space. You can really load it up, and it does have flip-down rear seats, so in sort of a 60-40 setup, so you can really put a lot of things in there, and that's a definite plus. So it's a 5-seater and great for road trips. So when I talk about different design choices, things that I really liked is the blinkers on the outside. I also love the Audi headlights. It's got sort of the daytime running lights, which you've seen in some of the commercials. This one has fog lights. It has rear fog lights as well. Another nice thing is actually the handle for locking and unlocking the door. You could just push the button here and it locks, and then you just grab it and open it. Very easy to use. So this particular Audi does come with a keyless key fob here, so you can just leave this in your pocket and then use the start-stop engine. But one thing that I found really nice and unique about this particular Audi is it does have a slot where you can actually use this like a pseudo key. So you can just take it and plug it in here, and assuming that you have your feet on the clutch and the brake, you can just plug it in there and it'll start up the car without any kind of issues. So one thing that my kids really liked is the fact that all 4 windows are automatic up and down. So you can just click them and down go the windows. It makes it a lot easier. So let's take a look at some of the tech design choices. And like I said, it took me a little bit to understand it. I'm used to other types of interfaces on cars, but the Audi is actually pretty nice, and like I said earlier, it's really tightly designed. So let's take a look at a couple of things here. So you have your standard dashboard, you have a screen here, probably about 4 inches or so, but one thing that you'll notice is that it actually is not a touch screen, but what you see up in the corners are different things that you can control when you're in a particular module. And where that relates to is actually down here. You see this controller, which is down near the shifter, and each of the 4 corners that you see on the screen are associated with these buttons here. And then there's a jog dial, which lets you dial through to different things on the screen. Took me a little bit of time to get used to this, And then you also have a return button, which I had to find and understand. Actually, I had to read the manual a bit about this. So like if you're in a screen and you want to go back to something else, you simply hit the return button. So there are dual climate controls in the front, so you can have individual temperatures and heating and cooling for the passenger in the front as well as for the driver. And then there's a separate one for the rear seat as well. So the Audi does have a blind spot indicator, and this one's, I actually like this a lot better than some of the other cars that I've tested before, but it took me a little bit to figure out how to get it to work. So right here in the corner, you'll see a little button, and this is how you turn on and turn off the blind spot indicators. And when you turn them on and they're active, the lights actually show up right here. So you can see, I'm gonna turn it on and you'll see it glow red, orange, just to show that it's on. So you have the same, obviously, blind spot indicator over here up in the corner. And what's really cool is it doesn't seem to be active when it's on, when you're going at low speeds, but when you're on the highway, it'll sort of glow on orange. And then if you actually try to turn into a lane where there's a car and it's orange, it'll start flashing the orange part, and it's really visible. And if you keep turning, you'll get an audio alert coming from the car as well to tell you that there's someone in your blind spot. So I didn't use the navigation that much, but you can see it's a pretty traditional navigation map. You can enter in destinations and that type of thing. Again, you can see what's active when you push different things. So you can see here, nav is active, and I can hit destination, and it'll pull up the destination where I want to go. If I want to go back to the map, then I click the button, the corresponding button down here, and it goes back to the map. The info button displays traffic alerts from the area near you, and then you can hit car, and it gives you a variety of different things that you can set. Some of these you can set while you're driving, and some you have to be parked or not moving to set it. So you can just dial through these different things and configure a variety of options. So this particular package comes equipped with Bang & Olufsen sound system, which really sounds good. And there are some other things that you can use. Obviously satellite, it does HD radio. You can use a CD player, but you also have the ability to put in SD cards into this slot. So if you have MP3 files that you want to load, you can load them in there. Like I said, it has satellite and it has radio as well. And you can couple or pair a Bluetooth phone to make phone calls. It also has voice recognition for a variety of commands. Voice is a little sterile and computerized compared to others, but the recognition does seem to be pretty good. Front driver's seat is actually has a variety of controls that you can do, and you can set the memory on it. Some neat little things here is actually, if you want, you can pull the front seat out a little bit if you need a little extra support for your legs. And there's a four-way lumbar support as well, and the front seats are heated if you want them to be. There is an available sunroof as well, and what I found kind of unique was the control for the sunroof. So you can dial it and it can open it just a little bit. You can see it just only cracked it a little bit, or you can pull it all the way and it'll open it all the way as well. So it's got this little dial thing here, so you can really have a lot of granular control over the sunroof itself. So each one of those changes how much the sunroof is open. So lastly, you can also change what you see on the speedometer area. You can click the mode and go into the telephone section. You can also click it and be able to dial through your various settings on your satellite radio, or just show distance to empty, or in this case it's showing the outside temperature, how far I've driven, the speed, that sort of thing. So overall, really like the Audi A4 Quattro. It's as I said earlier, it's very tight in terms of the performance. You can corner hard. It's got high performance, low profile tires. And also every little aspect of the interior tech is also really tight. It's again, it takes a little bit to understand. Like, it took me a little while to get my hands used to where the volume is. There also is volume here on the steering wheel, but it was pretty easy to understand in the end. So if you want to read more about it, you can visit my website, and that's at www.HighTechDad.com, or you can ask me on Twitter any questions that you might have, and I'm at HighTechDad.